And it has cleared the tower.
Now control.
Roger, roll, Challenger.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning, it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute, 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance.
Altın kön astada, altın den davası, yerliken dastana, yerlime alaşar, yeşilgen yerdigen dattama, şapta boy, namusan bergegen kasadan battı boy.
August 31st, 1986. At 10 p.m., the giant passenger liner Admiral Nahimov set sail from the Soviet port of Novorossiysk on a cruise of the Black Sea. There are more than 1,000 passengers and crew members aboard. Meanwhile, the large bulk carrier Pyotr Vasev, fully laden with Canadian wheat, is set to enter port. The two will converge 40 minutes before midnight. The freighter will ram into the starboard side of the liner at full speed. The ship will sink in a record 8 minutes.
We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Bone Crusher Smith, straight jab by Mike Tyson. 20 years old, Mike Tyson on his way to becoming one of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body, wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a right left hook, and he goes down. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut. They are. As Trevor Berbick falls back in the rope, I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He's got the heart, but his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's counted out. It'll be scored as a knockout. Mills Lane counted him out to 10.
Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. Got it.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and welcome to my 20 from 1986 series. I will be looking at the 20 games from 1986 that I think were the best in the arcades. But first off, we're going to look at a vertically scrolling, or a horizontally scrolling hack and slash game called Gladiator, and this was created by a company called Allumer and licensed to Taito in 1986. I remember seeing this in the arcades. It's really hard to get used to. The controls are tough to get used to. You have a joystick to move your gladiator, and you have 3 buttons. They are for low, medium, or high strikes with your sword. And with the joystick, you can kind of advance quicker or retreat by pushing forward or backward on the joystick. And by pushing up or down, you can raise and lower your shield. And we're seeing the enemy gladiators that you will face in this game. You will see them like halfway or at the end of stages. And here we are seeing the other parts, which is where you face a whole bunch of objects flying at you. And you either need to move your shield to block them, or you can strike them. And if you rapidly press up and down repeatedly during a stage, you can create a force field for a few seconds. And we're going to go ahead and get started. But yeah, this game is really, really tough to get used to. It's very hard until you get familiarized with moving your shield and striking with your sword at the same time. Now, each time an object hits you in a certain place, it will knock a piece of your armor off there. And if you get hit in that exact same place again, you will lose a life. Now, to get more points, strike the objects that are flying at you with your sword instead of blocking them with your shield. You can lose your shield if you're not careful, if it takes too many hits. You won't completely lose it, but it'll provide very little protection, and the enemy's sword can more likely get around it and stab you. And this is Solon. He is the first fighter. His moves are very slow. Just look at where he moves his shield and attack in a different place. But make sure that your shield is ready to block his attacks. It takes quite a while to get used to. Yeah, halfway through each stage you'll face, like, I think 3 fighters? It's 3 or 4 fighters. Now see that I'm glowing. I am invincible for a short time, and the reason why that happened was because I picked up 4 swords. There are swords among the objects that can fly at you during the hallway scenes. And there I killed Irene pretty quick. And you can even pick up the enemy's weapons sometimes when you walk by them by pushing down. Objects that you can pick up during these scenes. Oh, and there was one. That blue orb, and there was a sword right there. That blue orb will replace your damaged armor, and you'll be good as new. And there we go again. And the swords, when you pick up 4 of them, like I said, knock them down and then walk over them and press down, then they will count towards a total of 4, and this guy blows fireballs at me. When you get 4 of those swords, you will have a limited time of invincibility against the next gladiator, as long as you, I think, keep hitting their shield with your sword. You can break down an enemy's shield into almost nothing, so you can get your attacks around them easier, or you can break down their sword, and you can make their sword unusable. You know, it'll be broken. And when that happens, oh, just start wailing on the enemy, because they can't fight back. Again, that blue orb will replace all your damaged armor, so you'll be good as new. But you'll notice that parts of your armor start flying off as objects hit you, or when the enemy gladiator strikes you. You can take your time fighting the enemy gladiators. You got all the time in the world. In fact, that's often a good strategy. That'll give you time to wail on their, whoops, that was not careful. That was not good. My head was unprotected and he stabbed me in the head. Fortunately, this game isn't terribly gory. But you can propel the enemy backwards by repeatedly hitting their shield and eventually break it down. So you can get your attacks around them better. See, the shield isn't very good. I was able to get around it when he brought it down low and take off his armor and kill him. And like I said, you can also destroy their sword. And if you do that, then they have no means to attack you. So you can just waste them. There's no timer, so take your time. You get bonus points for defeating a gladiator, 5,000. And again, some enemies, when you pass by them, you can press down and you can pick up the weapon that they were carrying. Sometimes they will have goofy taunting poses. I think Irene jumps up and down and giggles at you. There's some other hidden tricks in this game. Ah, damn it, he got me. You get an extra life every 100,000 points, which seems pretty daunting, but if you keep striking the objects with your sword while in the hallway scenes, you will get more points, and you can get points for taking off armor from the enemy. If you want to strike the opponent's sword or shield, it's often good to have plenty of distance between you and them, because they can get close and still hit you with attacks. But try to break down their shield or try to break down their weapon. If you do break down their weapon, they may drop it, and as you pass by you can press down and pick up their weapon, and you will collect it, and if it's stronger than the sword you have, you will keep that weapon and your attacks will be stronger, which is very nice. And this guy will drop his, I think it's a mace, and you will have stronger attacks. Yeah, it broke off, and you'll be able to pick it up. And now I can just go in and kick his ass, because he didn't have any way to attack me. There, I picked it up. You can sometimes stab him just for a little bit of extra measure. There we go. Yeah, you can knock down shields too, and you can replenish your shield, because it'll take damage, and now it's nothing. I should have collected that shield. But yeah, you'll need to use the high strike to knock down things that are way up high. Oops. That barrel, and you'll start seeing them on the second stage, that barrel, you need to move your shield down to block it, plus you need to whack it repeatedly with your low strikes, and you will eventually destroy it. And now we will face an archer, female archer, and you need to deflect her arrows real quick, and then you try to get in close, and it's very hard to. You have to be very ready with your shield, but you need to get in close, and she won't be able to block your attacks. So go in and smack her once you're close, and then you break down the wall and you move on. And note that you get armor back once you defeat a stage. And now we're on to stage 3. There are 4 stages in the game, and once you beat the game, the whole game, all 4 stages, you will go to a treasure room. But yeah, don't forget to push down as you pass over these objects that got knocked down. You have to block that whole thing there. Whatever energy beam that was. Ah, crap. Well, I was almost to that blue orb that would have replenished my armor. But at any rate, that's Gladiator. We will see the other enemy gladiators that you will face in just a little bit. But you can continue from the stage that you left off at the start of it. But, yeah, try to master using the shield, moving it up and down, and using the sword at the same time. And here is a Green Knight on the 3rd stage, and I think a red knight, and I think there's like a black knight, and then on the next stage there's using the shield, and it has this weird kind of spacey motif, and the last boss is a golden knight, and once you beat him, he's a skeleton and you have to beat him, and parts of his body come off. And there's the treasure room. Now if you beat the game, sometimes, depending on the cabinet, you might go directly to the treasure room and then your game will end after you put in your initials, or you might start the whole game all over again. But that was Gladiator by a company called Allumer and licensed to Taito in the US. Game number 20 in our 20 from 1986 series. Well, I thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you and your family have a very happy holidays. I hope to see you soon with game number 19 in my 20 from 1986 series. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.